Hello everyone and welcome to GoldenNova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. Burst Protocol keeps throwing new releases at us while I'm at work. That's not fair. Me, because I get to miss out on that sweet first wave of people looking for stuff, and you, because then I can't be the first person that you go to react to things first. My tagline has been honed over all of these months that I've been doing reveals, and all of a sudden, I get a job, and then they start doing releases in the middle of the day. I have to stop this screed. I'm gonna lose everyone. We have Assault Mode Activate. As a new series of cards, we are getting another wave of support for them. We saw one a little while ago that added Assault Mode 0 and worked with Halberd Cannon to kind of tie in with the TG stuff, but now it looks like we are getting another honest-to-goodness wave. I know one friend of mine who's going to be very happy to see all of these being added in here, and I'm kind of excited to see what they're doing with it. Modern card design does this thing to older ideas where it makes them not toxic to play. You can actually use those cards. So let's see if Burst Protocol has succeeded in that once again. We are starting with Junk Warrior Assault Mode, a level 7 Dark Warrior monster with 2800 attack and 1800 defense. Cannot be normal summoned or set, and must be special summoned with Assault Mode Activate. It's just the way things go. We're going to see that on, I assume, all of these. Oh, this is so cool. So this is clearly meant to tie in with the Synchro Fellows deck that just came out. You can play this alongside all the Junk Warrior specific stuff. And honestly, it's just cool to see Junk Warrior getting more of a spotlight. So, what does it actually do? It gains 1000 attack for each Assault Mode monster that you control, so doesn't exclude itself, so it's actually a 3800 attack monster. If it battles a monster, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. Okay. Unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effects. Wonderful pseudo towers. And if this card is destroyed, you can target a Junk Warrior monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, then you can special summon it. This is treated as a synchro summon. That is outrageous. So I believe all of the, and I'm going to be pulling this up on the side here just so that I'm not, or so I can confirm that I'm not talking out of my butt while I still talk out of it. The Assault Mode monsters generally do float into their component monster when they are removed from the field if the opponent has gets rid of it. Now, Junk Warrior wouldn't matter for, because it doesn't really have an it doesn't really have any effect. It only has an on-synchro summon effect. So this is worded in a way that gets you the synchro summon of this monster so that you can, you know, gain the effect. And yeah, things like Arcanine Magician Assault Mode doesn't mean anything. If you destroy it and it comes back as Arcanine Magician from the graveyard, big whoop, it has no spell counters. Colossal Fighter, that's fine. It's just a floater thing anyway. A lot of these things just don't work if they're just summoned back. So this one, tooling it in a way that it still triggers the effect is pretty bonkers. Crimson Bladers coming back? You're joking me. That's so funny. Dragon Ruler's worst enemy is back at it again. 3300 attack, 3100 defense, is a level 10 Fire Warrior monster. Usual Assault Mode Activate nonsense, and you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand to add an Assault Mode Activate or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, then shuffle this card into the deck. Every new one of these should have this. I don't know why we're not seeing more of this. We know that these kinds of, like we saw in Metalmorph. Basically, all the Metalmorph monsters can trade themselves out for the card that enables them. Why are we only seeing this on Crimson Blader? Why wasn't this on Junk Warrior Assault Mode? Anyway, this is good. It also searches any card that mentions it too, so it's for the whole, like, genre of Assault Mode cards. Second effect, your opponent cannot activate the effects of level 5 or higher monsters special summoned from the extra deck. So this doesn't prevent summons, and arguably it doesn't stop. So this is the weird thing, right? Because when Crimson Blader destroys something, its ability to stop the summon of high-level monsters inadvertently also stops Xyz summons, or at least certain kinds of Xyz summons. If you were banking on summoning gigantic monsters to make, like level 5 or higher ones to make those high-ranking Xyz monsters, Crimson Blader would stop that. This one does not do that. It does leave the floodgates open for Link and Xyz monsters. That's not terrible, but something that you'll want to keep an eye out for. And if this card is destroyed, you can special summon a Crimson Blader from your graveyard. So this doesn't need to have the whole return to extra deck thing, Crimson Blader works just fine no matter where it's summoned from. So these seem to be our Assault mode monsters. Assault Lich, level 4 Dark Zombie Tuner Effect monster. Are we getting some Doom? I think we're getting some Doom Kaiser vibes. This is definitely the reference. That's kind of like a Doom Kaiser body in the background. That looks sick. Okay, has 1500 attack. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a monster that mentions Assault mode activates, or a level 4 zombie monster from your graveyard specifically. Okay, that does throw a bit of a wrench into things. Obviously, just being like, zombie support randomly, that's funny. But there are some good Assault mode adjacent monsters, like Psy Reflector, I think it is. That's a great one to bring back. Because then that's going to, as long as you can reveal an Assault mode, you get to do something. There's I think Assault Sentinel is the one that lets you tribute it, and it gets you the cards you need. There's some combo with it. This card you control would be used as synchro material. You can treat it as a non-tuner. Okay, so this does work with our other tuners, so we don't have to worry about overlapping tuner monsters. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can add an Assault Slash or Assault Counter from your deck to your hand. Ooh, baby. Now, those are some support cards for Assault mode, and I need to double-check what those do. And we're going to check the card. You know what? We don't need to do that. I can just check the name, because it gives the name. Assault Slash. Okay, so Assault Slash is a little goofy. Let me make sure this is correctly formatted for the screen here. Normal trap card. If you control an Assault mode monster, destroy all face-up monsters on the field. Funny one of for sure. It destroys all monsters, so it'll include your own monsters, but thankfully they replace themselves. So if you don't mind losing it and just like rolling back to a previous version, that's fine. And what was the other one? It was Assault Counter. That's gotta be the preferred option, right? Oops. Caps lock. Assault Counter. There we go. I know how to type, folks. Yeah, activate only while you control an Assault mode monster. Negate the activation of a spell, trap, or effect, monster effect, and destroy it. So now, you don't have to run Stardust Dragon Assault mode. You can just search the trap card that lets any of your Assault mode monsters be Stardust Dragon Assault mode. Very funny. This is pretty good. Being able to, I don't know if this will boost the playability of Assault Slash, but running Assault Counter for sure becomes a lot more viable, because now it's just part of your combo line. You get the Omni Negate, it gets you cards back, it can be used as a non-tuner, so it's very flexible, and it doesn't care what it's being used as synchro material for. Not that it would normally, because there's such a wide variety of synchro monsters that play into Assault mode. So okay, A+. And, zombies have a long history of being synchro support, so good on that. Next up, we have Nightwing Priestess, a level 8 wind spellcaster synchro monster, 2500 attack and 2500 defense, requires generic material. Now, I'm very curious what this is about, because we didn't see a Nightwing Priestess Assault mode. So why would you spend your materials making a synchro monster when it's not going to be one you can Assault mode? You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, if this card is special summoned, you can set an Assault mode to activate from your hand, deck, or graveyard. It can be activated this turn. That's kind of a reference to what this card originally was. I forget what the name of it actually is, but there is a main deck monster that came out in the initial wave that lets you activate Assault mode to activate the turn that it's set, so you can play it faster. Not that it searches it or anything, but that's where we get this monster from. Second effect, you can discard a card, add to your hand, or special summon one monster from your deck that mentions Assault mode activates. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except synchro monsters. Okay, so I didn't want to say it because I was probably, I probably maybe should have said it, I don't know. I was hoping that maybe we were going to get a synchro monster whose name would change based on some criteria so that you could use it as the thing for Assault mode activate. Maybe that would be a bit too easy for it. I don't know. But that's kind of what I was hoping for to really smooth things out. But that's not the case. Instead, it just kind of gets you to the card. But, you're already synchro summoning. Why are you now getting the monsters that are Assault mode activated, Jason? If you've already made a level 8 synchro monster, just make Stardust Dragon. Turn that. Maybe it's for, like, maybe you had the synchro stuff, but you didn't have the actual assault mode stuff. This makes you a synchro, and then you can do that. And then you can use this as material, right? Like, if there's a higher level synchro monster, like, I don't know. I think that's kind of the idea right now. So that's got to be what it's for. Okay, but that's that. We're not done yet, though. I thought we might have been done with this. We have a field spell, dual evolution, assault zone. Look at, oh my god, they're fighting for dominance over the field of battle. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. When this card resolves, you can add a monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand that mentions assault mode activate. So it's a field spell that searches. Assault mode monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's effects the turn that they are summoned, so you get a little time with it. 3. You can pay 2,000 life points. Once this turn, you can activate Assault Mode Activate by tributing a Synchro monster in the extra deck. Okay, well, the thing that I thought the Synchro monster would do has decided to show up on the field spell. This is hilarious. So now we do have the card that lets us utilize assault modes without having to actually summon the base monster. Now, granted, you still have to play it. It's not as easy as playing the one monster whose name changes. You actually have to commit. But now, you can make things like assault mode halberd cannon, without having to go through the giant process of summoning it. You can do Doom Kaiser Dragon assault mode without having to play frickin' the two-tuner that changed the game, Plague Spreader Zombie. I know my Yu-Gi-Oh history. Oh, and it's a field spell. Oh, that is so funny. Now, notably, this only activates... This only works with Assault Mode Activate. It doesn't activate... It doesn't use... What is Assault Mode Zero's text? I'm very curious what its actual text is. Assault Mode 0 attributes a synchro monster, special summon a assault mode monster from your hand whose name includes the attributed monster's name. Okay, so it's treated as being summoned by Assault Mode Activate, but we are not activating Assault Mode Activate. Its name does not change. It is just Assault Mode 0, so we cannot use that with this. That's fine, totally fine. Although, I suppose the issue here is that this is an activated effect that lets you tribute from your extra deck to use Assault Mode Activate, which is a trap card. So we do need to have something that gets it online immediately, or, you know, we have to wait a turn to use all of this. And I'm not a big fan of that. Though, to be fair, that's only a problem if you need to do this part. This is already an outrageous consistency booster for the deck. We already had Emergency Teleport at 3 to summon Reflector, which was already a huge boon to the theme. Oh, right, because you would summon Reflector would get you Assault Mode Activate, and I think I don't need to guess, I have the database. But yeah, you can, like, reveal it in your hand to summon another Assault Mode Activate monster in your graveyard. So that's why you would do Sentinel. Tribute it, get Reflector. Reflector gets you the Assault Mode. And then you reveal it so that Reflector can bring back the Sentinel, and then you change the Sentinel's level increase about to 4 levels. Sentinel, I think, was 4 itself, so you can make anything from level 5 to 9 with it, which covers most Assault Mode monsters, so that's still pretty wild. And the field spell now gets you Sentinel on top of, like, Tenki. So, hey, now you don't need to spend all those points trying to add Tenki to your deck if you're playing Genesis format. Just play Dual Evolution Assault Zone. There's that, and then there's the the limited time protection. Of the assault mode monsters can be destroyed by battle or your opponent's effects the turn that they are special summoned. That's kind of goofy. It means that it will have time to affect the board for a bit before your opponent's regular destruction gets rid of it. These cards are very fun. Do I think it solves the big general issue of assault modes? No, they don't. Assault mode, I do not think can ever be its own cohesive strategy. The field spell goes a long way towards helping that, because now you don't have to play the individual engines that get you to the synchro monsters that you transform into assault modes. Now you can just pay 2,000 life points and pick whichever one you want, but you still need to spend room in your extra deck. The more of that you fill with names that you want to play, the less room you have for utility synchro monsters. And as far as I'm aware, you generally want to be playing a lot of synchro monsters that climb you into bigger monsters. So the more you do this, the less room you have to play those. I'm ignoring any other monster type because they clearly just want you to stick to synchros here. And the payoffs are still just, like, not great. Like, Stardust Dragon Assault Mode is an Omni Negate, and I think that's really cool, but we have ways to get around that right now. Halberd Cannon Assault Mode is probably the biggest draw for this. Its effect, when your opponent would summon a monster, you can negate the summon and then banish that monster and all special summon monsters your opponent control. It is a summon negate that also breaks boards. It's 4,500 attack both ways. It's outrageously strong. But a lot of these other monsters don't come with their own protection or way to keep them safe, and they're just gimmick monsters. Junk Warrior Assault Mode can get huge and just kill you, but I'm not sure if we're going to get to a point where we're going to see this gains 1,000 attack go very far, because it needs to have honest-to-goodness other slash assault mode monsters to get the boost. So it's going to be 3,800 by itself, other factors notwithstanding. There's a world where this, like, you attack with it, it gets destroyed, and then you bring back Junk Warrior and it triggers its effect. And it being unaffected by monster effects is pretty cool, but it folds in the face of a single spell or trap card. Crimson Blader Assault Mode is a great monster to, like, set up your assault mode stuff, but I would never want to actually summon this. I don't feel... Okay, not never. That's the wrong thing. There are certain formats where there are level 5 or higher monsters that this thing shuts down, and that's goods, but this is... Actually summoning it is circumstantial. The first effect is, of course, wild. Assault Lich is a great card to smooth things out. Nightwing Priestess just feels so weird, because I think it solves hands where you have, like, material but not the actual assault mode. But then it just kind of, like, sticks around. There might be a plan to, like, you could set up Hyper Psychic Blaster. You can't set up Arcanite Magician with this. You can't set up a Colossal Fighter. Red Dragon Archfiend, Stardust Dragon, and I think Halberd Cannon, because Halberd Cannon has such specific material, so you can't sync this up into anything, and the field spell is just generally good. I think it'll just be fun. Assault Mode Activate has not become meta, but once again, as with most things, that's not necessarily the point. I'd like, it'd be cool, but that's not the goal. I think these are cool cards that help make the deck easier to play, and you'll see your game plan more often, and honestly, that's good enough for me. We're not done yet, though. There's some other things that were revealed that we are going to take a look at while we're here, and we're going to start with the new Wake Cup card. Wake Up Card Earl. Wake Cup Card Earl. Wake Cup Earl. Blech. So this is a series of flip monsters, and I haven't really been keeping up exactly with what they do. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Wake Cups in the sidebar here, just to make sure that we have Makia and Mocha. God, they're so adorable. On hand, so we can reference it with reference anything that might come up here. However, the other monsters were low levels. They're both level 3. This is a level 7 Wind Aqua Flip monster with 2,700 attack, 400 defense. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. First effect, if this card is in your hand, you can discard one other flip monster, and if you do, special summon this card in attack position or face down defense position, so it's pretty easy to get onto the board. Second effect is the flip effect. You can send face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard up to the number of flip monsters you control. Oh, wow! Okay. During your end phase, you can target one flip monster in your graveyard and special summon it in face down defense position. Okay. That's pretty nifty. So you pitch a flip monster to get this into the board, which you will then summon back during your end phase if you don't have a better target for it. And there are a ton of good flip monsters to bring back with this. I still think Pot of Forbidden is just a really funny card to have as like an answer to almost anything. It's Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, Pot of Greed, and the Forceful Sentry wrapped into one card. You don't activate them all at once, but you can pick one of those effects when you flip it. On a 2,000 attack, 3,000 defense body, that's not terrible. And then it's also removal based on the number of flip monsters that you control. That's very funny. Hopefully we keep seeing this. I would love to do a Wake Cup explained video. I don't think 3 of them is going to really amount to much. Maybe we'll see a release where we get a full Wake Cup deck. But for now, this is very funny. And being level 7 is good for a variety of reasons. Great Xyz material, great Synchro material. These cards are going places. I think I saw people posting that this was Mimighoul support. But I don't see it, because you don't want to summon the Mimighouls to your side of the field, so this effect doesn't seem very good. I suppose, like, once you take all of your opponent's stuff, or rather, you take back your opponent's stuff once it's been flipped face up, this turns into a gigantic removal spell, where, like, oh, I took 2 of your monsters, now I flip Earl, that's 3 cards, boom, 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 they're all gone. That's very funny. So, okay, I guess we got a cool new flip monster. Looking forward to seeing where it goes. Our last card for today is something from Bastion's corner of the world. We're getting another Magnet Warrior, and you might be thinking, Magnet Warrior, that's Yugi. Wrong! This is Omega Plus. This is one of those new Magnet Warriors that Bastion just had to have because he's such a special little boy. A Magnet Warrior Omega Plus, or Omega Positive. Omega, what was it? Magnet Warrior Omega Plus Minus or something? Not that one. But we got this one. So it's a level 4 Earth Rock, 800 attack, 1900 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Very funny. Very understandable, very funny. First effect, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can destroy one other rock monster in your hand or face upon your field. And if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. And second effect, when an earth monster on the field activates its effect as a quick effect, you can tribute this card, then target one face-up monster on the field and change it to face-down defense position. Huh. Okay, so clearly this is just a rock-focused card. It does have an earth trigger on it, but I think that's there to limit what kinds of decks it can go into. Not that there's a ton of rock decks out there, but even things like Adamancipator branches out from the earth attribute from time to time. So this can summon itself not for free. Hopefully you're triggering something off of the rock destruction. And then when an earth monster does its thing, it transforms into Book of Moon. And then it banishes itself eventually. That's kind of funny. I'm not sure if that lines up with Magnet Warriors in a particular way, but we can send this to the graveyard with, I think it's Delta? I'm pretty sure it's Delta. So that's why we can set this up, and then you have a cool Book of Moon. So that does it for all the cards we have on this episode. We have an interesting new Magnet Warrior, Wake Cups, and flips in general, now having a new tool to work with. Shoutouts to Prediction Princesses. And lastly, there's Assault Mode Activate, which was, even if I don't think it's going to be effective, God, do these arts look good. And I think it makes the deck even more fun to play. But that's what I've got to say on it. Now I want to hear from all of you. Am I missing something about Assault Modes? Am I just a big dumbhead who doesn't know what he's talking about? And of course Assault Mode Activate just became the new front runner for meta contention? Let me know down below, and don't mention that I just said rudder. And until the next time that Konami drops some juicy spoilers, I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout while helping out the channel. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media and the Critic of Innocence, Nebula Navigators, 3rd Dynasty, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Charlie Mercury, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Green Knight, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Meme King, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Neon Yaminair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Pat Boos, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sonic 21 Blast, That One Dumbass, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Ally Vatnia, Animasta, Anthrak, A Random Pup, Blade Runner 1034, Blaze Rider, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Christopher Fuss, again, Chris B, Cool Trainer Dark, Dr. Entity RIP, Eki Bullock, Edwin Perez, Eva Padilla, Herbal D, Inblink, J.A. Flair, Julian Marquez, Kale the Dragon, Lobomaru02, Manga Pages, Mr. Machina, Natiel Lee Alexander, Nicholas Murphy, Not Al Gore, Obsidian, Pombo, Rhyme Kairos, Rogue Wolf, Shizuka Nijimura, Simic Toadstool, Stephen Huntsman, The Legendary Raven, The Queen of Time, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Zaldreka and Azentha, as well as all the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.